Dana White continues his Jon Jones glazing tour for another week. Today, we are going to take a look at some of the headlines regarding Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones, and Dana White in regards to their fight that the fans have been calling for quite some time now to happen instead of Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. So stick around to hear my thoughts on Dana White, Jon Jones, Stipe, and the potential matchup with Tom Aspinall. I'm Wyatt. This is Fight Society. And before we get into the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, become a channel member if you want bonus content. All of that really helps me out a lot, so thank you very much. So we'll start off with Jon Jones's response to the fans calling for him to unify the undisputed and interim UFC heavyweight titles with Tom Aspinall. He started off his Twitter rant by saying, "There are fighters literally all over the world that think in the back of their mind, I can beat Jon Jones. There will be no statues of you. Go out and win more. Make your name greater. That is the only way you do it." And then another tweet that says, "I guess there was a video that resurfaced recently of me saying that after Stipe, Francis was the only fight I was interested in. That video was recorded well over a year ago. That was recorded before I got injured and before there was an interim champion crowned. I had already voiced that I wasn't interested in any more randoms. Now magically I'm ducking a fight that's never been negotiated or discussed at any table that matters. LOL, I'm sticking to my plans. Jones jumps for no one. How many belts does one need? How many times do I have to break my own record?" And then he goes on to say, "I'm 37 years old now. I've kicked everyone's ass. My job is to finish strong and make an amazing movie. Go join Tom Brady, Floyd Mayweather, and all the other retired badasses." And then someone said, "Kick Tom's ass then, or are you scared?" And then Jon said, "It feels good to know that on the way out of your sport that was literally begging you to continue. You never know, maybe the UFC will offer me a deal I can't refuse." Okay, so first off, I understand what's happening here. I understand that there's a legacy preservation being done by Dana, Jon, the UFC, everybody, because Stipe's ranked 7th now at heavyweight. It doesn't make sense for Stipe to be fighting for a title coming off of a loss that was almost 4 years ago, okay? I understand this is something like where Jon sees a heavyweight defense where he can ride off into the sunset. It looks good on paper when they frame it the way that Jon and Dana are framing it, saying best fighter ever versus best heavyweight ever. Jon can beat Stipe and then retire, saying that he was the best fighter of all time and he beat the best heavyweight of all time. I understand what's going on, but that doesn't mean that you get to duck an interim champion, which is what's going to happen, in my opinion. But personally, I feel that at this point, we should just strip Jon. I've said this so many times now. We should strip Jon of the heavyweight title, promote Tom Aspinall to heavyweight champ or undisputed champ. And then you just do Jon and Stipe as like a legends fight, almost like a Conor fight where there's no belt on the line, but it headlines a pay-per-view. Something else I noticed, he said, "I'm 37 years old now. I've kicked everyone's ass." Didn't kick Thiago Santos's ass. He didn't kick Dom Reyes's ass. That's for sure. More smoke and mirrors, rewriting of history done by Jon Jones for his own legacy. And then you see right here, he said, "Go join Tom Brady, Floyd Mayweather." This is what Dana wants. Dana wants the UFC to have a Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron, like something like that, where like everybody looks at them as the best. And that's why he wants to preserve Jon Jones's record. But I say the way to really cement him as the best fighter ever is to fight Tom Aspinall. I know I know people are like all defending Jon, saying he shouldn't have to fight him, but I think he should. I think that does more for his legacy than Stipe. Like, you're stuck in 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think it might even go back to the DC rivalry as to why he wants to beat Stipe. So it's not the way I want to see this go down. Stipe's around. The winner could fight Stipe if you do Jon versus Tom Aspinall. That's a bigger fight in my opinion, but Dana wants to have his Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, you know, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, somebody that's like unequivocally the best with almost unreachable accolades. We move forward to more recently where Jon Jones responds to the comments that Dana White made about him at the Dana White Contender Series press conference on Tuesday. So first off, we'll start with what Dana had to say about Jon Jones, because Dana's aware of the Jon Jones glazing memes.
You know, that I'm up Jon Jones' ass. These are fucking facts. And since everybody has been such douchebags about this, I'm coming out with a nice little punch in the face for all you fuckers that think that Jon Jones isn't the greatest of all time. Dislike him, whatever your beef is with Jon Jones, knock yourself out. There is no way in hell that Jon Jones doesn't want to fight Aspinall. So that I guarantee you.
So with that being said, say Jon Jones gets past Stipe and he wants a bigger contract,
Jon Jones is doing Jon Jones right now. That's what he does. You know what I mean? That's what he does. there is nobody that we've ever dealt with that, when I tell you, is not afraid to fight anybody. It's Jon Jones. And I just told her, I believe Jon Jones Aspinall happens if he beats Stipe.
Is that something? Is that like a fight that you would, try and make happen money-wise if he's asking for more money?
We'll do everything we can to make the fight happen. Listen, you're saying, would we make that fight if Jon Jones asked for more fun? What fights don't we make? Other than the Francis thing, what fights don't we make? And you can't make people fight. And we couldn't make Francis fight. But every other fight we've made. We've dealt with guys from like Brock Lesnar. I mean, think of the biggest stars that have ever been in the sport. We've always made the fights, So
that's what Dana had to say about Jon Jones versus Aspinall potentially happening. He says that Jon Jones definitely does want to fight Tom Aspinall. I don't know if that's the case, but the Glazing tour continues. And Dana White's going to ride this out until Jon fights Stipe and retires, because there's been such glaring contradictions between what Dana White is saying about Jon Jones's future and what Jon Jones is saying about his own future. You have Jon Jones saying he's going to ride off into the sunset. Then you have Dana White saying, when do we not make the fights? When do these fights not happen? So Jon Jones responded to this on Twitter. He said, "Man, I appreciate the boss and the comments he made at last night's press conference. Sounds like I have some massive options on the table, an athlete's dream." So Jon goes, "Oh wait, Dana said he might be down to pay me more money. Let's make it happen, huh? Right now I need to get back to focusing at the task at hand. Despite what some of the casuals think, Stipe's no joke. It's crazy that we live in a world where you can go from best heavyweight ever to washed up after a bad performance. The reality is Francis would have knocked out 98% of people on the planet that night, but somehow Stipe is washed up. Stipe not competing in so long tells me that he's had plenty of time to heal and rebuild. Let me get back to focusing on the actual task at hand. That's what got me this far, my focus. I do what others can't." Okay, there's a lot to unpack there, because first off, let's see. Jon Jones says massive options. He means massive paycheck. Despite what some of the casuals think, Stipe's no joke. It's crazy that we live in a world where you can go from best heavyweight ever to washed up after a bad performance. Well, hold on. It wasn't a bad performance. He actually almost dropped Francis, and they had an exchange. Francis clipped him. He clipped Francis. Francis KO'd him. And he also beat him one time before as well. But what Jon Jones doesn't understand here is it's not a bad performance. It's a bad performance and a loss to someone that's in the PFL now, and then no activity in 4 years. That's where people say he's washed up, because he's 42. We see the videos of him hitting pads. They're terrible. He's slow, he's stiff, and he's supposed to fight Jon Jones, who just submitted Ciryl Gane, who didn't want to be in there that night. So he says Stipe not competing in so long tells me that he's had plenty of time to heal and rebuild. What Jon Jones really means is that he's had plenty of time to accumulate ring rust that I'm going to take advantage of. And the very last thing we'll touch on is Tom Aspinall here talking about Jon Jones on Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith's Believe You Me podcast.
He was praying that I would lose that fight against Curtis Blades, mate. Praying that I would. Because there is nowhere that you can find publicly, nowhere, him saying that he will fight me. It doesn't exist. I challenge anybody watching this interview to go and find a statement, a quote, a video where Jon Jones is saying that he'll fight me after he's fought Stipe. It doesn't exist. The guy's smart. And mate, the guy, we know he's a bit overweight these days. The guy was sat there, mate, with the Cheeto fingers or whatever, the Doritos on his fingers, with his iPhone in hand, waiting for me to get knocked out so he can start tweeting about it. Since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet, and he'll continue to go completely quiet about me until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
So, I mean, wow. That's like one of the coldest fucking statements I've ever heard in my whole life.
That is sick.
Okay, Bisping, enough with the glaze there. But, guys, Tom Aspinall is learning the game. He's learning the fight business, guys. Tom Aspinall is learning the business of fight promotion in front of our very eyes. He is going to bait Jon Jones's ego into making this fight happen, and I absolutely love it. What are our thoughts, guys? For me, I'm saying Jon Jones and Stipe happens at UFC 309. Both of them ride off into the sunset. Tom Aspinall acts as the backup fighter. After Stipe and Jon both retire in the cage, they'll announce in the post-fight press conference, or they'll announce on Tuesday or something like that after the fight that Tom Aspinall has been promoted to undisputed champ, kind of the same way Rob Whittaker got promoted when GSP retired. But I'm still convinced that I really like that Tom Aspinall is still not giving up on this fight. He just might ego bait Jon Jones into fighting him, which would be fucking sick. One of the biggest fights of all time, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Jon Jones is going to beat 40-year-old Stipe, go on his merry way, and we are going to be stuck with this little bit of saltiness left in our mouth, a little bit of a sour taste, knowing that we didn't get Jon versus Francis and we didn't get Jon against Tom Aspinall. It's crazy. We wanted Jon versus Francis. We got Surreal Gone. Now we want Jon versus Tom Aspinall. We're getting Stipe. So that's my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Does Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones ever happen? If it does, who do you think wins? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe. Thank you very much. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It really helps me out a lot. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, then become a channel member today for access to members only live streams, vlogs, and some other members perks. So click the link in the description down below or the join button on our channel homepage to become a member today. If you're interested in some non-MMA content from me, go check out my personal channel, Wyatt's World, and go check out my weekly comedy podcast, What's Up Bro, with Wyatt and Bo. Both of those are linked in the description down below. Go watch this suggested video, and we'll see you next time.